Morning guys, GX Bob here once again. A lot of you guys have hit me up right after I did the EGR valve remove and install using OEM Lexus parts. Some of you asked me, would it be possible if you take out your old EGR valve and just clean it, right? In my case, if your car didn't have as much miles, if your car's had lower than 100,000 miles and it's a newer year vehicle, I'm sure you can take it apart and clean it. The only reason why I didn't clean it is because I didn't want to take everything apart, drain my radiator coolant, and clean it, and put everything back together and install this and find out that my check engine light still is on. So instead of going through all that trouble, I just went ahead and just paid the $250 to buy a new EGR valve from the Lexus dealer and just went with it. But now that I looked at my part, it's not that bad. I think I could have cleaned it. I'm going to go ahead and try to clean it, and I'm going to see how clean it gets. I already went ahead and did some brushing using a toothbrush and try to brush it away, not thinking that I was going to do a video about this, but I received a few comments from you guys asking to show the old EGR valve, and I'm going to show it to you. Okay? What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and soak this in throttle body cleaner. We are going to probably dump about 3 cans of throttle body cleaner into a bucket and just soak this, but we're going to remove the electronic component out of this first. We're going to take the whole plastic component out of here, and we're just going to soak all the metal pieces and valves into the cleaning solvent and see what it does. After we soak it for a couple of hours, we're going to remove it and we're going to start brushing it away and see how clean it gets and see if the valve actually moves freely. If it moves freely, maybe we have something, right? We can put everything back together, slap it back on the car to test it. We don't. Also, somebody asked me, what's the magic number? When should you start cleaning your EGR valve? EGR valve, even though it's not in your scheduled maintenance list of things to do, such as oil change and transmission change and brake, right? The magic number is about 50,000 miles. Every 50,000 miles, you should really take this out and clean it. Okay, you have to clean it. This thing doesn't last forever. Even if you clean it, I think the lifespan for this, from last what I read, was 10 years. EGR valves last for about 10 years. Every 50,000 miles, you're supposed to take it apart and clean it. Dip it into solvent, start spraying throttle body cleaner onto it, just so the valves don't stick, okay? Once you start getting rough idles, once your RPM start doing this a lot and you're getting poor performance, you can start pointing your fingers at this piece right here, your EGR valve. So let's go ahead and start cleaning it. All right, let's go for it. All right. Here's the part. This is the valve that springs open and closed. Look how crudded it is. Look at the inside components right there. I'm not sure if you could see it. It's pretty cruddy in there. What we're going to do is we're going to remove this electronic component first. All it has is 2 Phillips screws. You might want to get your thumbs and your hands and close this because it's spring loaded right here. So once you remove these screws, a spring's going to pop out of here. There's one screw. Flip it over. There's another screw. Okay, be careful when you open it up. The spring should fall out. There it is. Okay, this is your piston right here. This is the plug that plugs into your car's computer that actuates this piston right here. This piston is what actuates this valve to open and close. What I got here is 2 gloves, safety glasses. You're really going to need the safety glasses because you are going to take your carburetor cleaner fluid, throttle body cleaner fluid, or whatever, any kind of cleaning solvent, and you are going to empty it into a bucket that is going to accommodate your throttle, your EGR valve. It's going to be 5 inches by 4 inches by 4 inches, okay? You are going to take a couple of picks. These picks right here, I bought from Harbor Freight. They come in a big kit with a bunch of picks. You're going to use these to start picking away at all the dirt and the grime that's inside of your valves once you release all the soot that's already in there, okay? Go ahead and take your whole valve and soak it in there. And I'm going to leave it there for a couple hours. Couple hours have passed. What you're going to do is you're going to want to take it, use your thumb to push onto this piston so you could open up the valves so some of it can go inside the lip area. So I'm going to go soak it in here. Use my thumb to go ahead and open the valve, open and close, open and close. I'm going to leave it open for a little bit. Let some of the solvent get in there. I'm going to take it out a little bit. I'm going to grab my little pick tool and start picking at it to remove some of the loose dirt. Go through every cavity. Go through the bottom cavity, go through the side cavity, and start picking up at the dirt, and go ahead and soak it again. If you take a look inside my little bucket right here, you can tell that it is getting a lot of filthy residue coming out already. Okay, this is after 4 hours. Let's take a look at it. It looks pretty gunky in there. Looks pretty dirty, guys. There's a close-up of all the junk that came out of your EGR valve. I'm going to go ahead and wait 1 more hour. Okay, here's the moment of truth, guys. It's been in there for such a long time right now, so let's go take a look at it already. It's been in there for more than 4 hours. Look at all the gunk that came out, okay? Did come out a lot cleaner. Not completely chrome, but a lot better than what it used to look like. But what we're looking for are these valves right here. That valve right there doesn't move freely. So we're going to go ahead and take it out right now. I'm not going to contaminate it by putting it back into this dirty water full of gunk. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to let it dry, open up the valve to let more of the water out, more of the solvent out. I'm going to keep the solvent bucket right here, and I'm going to take cleaning solvent and I'm going to pour on top of it just like this. Just to wash it away, open up the valves, pour cleaning solvent one more time while opening up the valves. Let it go through all its little openings right there. Get rid of all the soot that's already still stuck on the walls of the valve. I'm going to go through each opening. I'm going to pour in cleaning solvent. Check this out, guys. Look at the brown fluid that's coming out of here. It's still coming out. Holy smokes. I thought it'd be clear liquid coming out by now. That's how dirty it is. Make sure you do a thorough job of getting all this liquid through all those crevices. Wow. Look how clean it got, guys. Holy smokes. Let's check it out. Take one last opportunity to scrape any soot and carbon buildup that's left behind. I'm going to go ahead and let this sit. Let all the chemicals evaporate. Let it dry on its own. Here's the final result. I just want to show it to you before I put everything back. Let's take a look. Look how clean that is. Look how clean that is. And look how clean that is. Now here is what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and push on this valve, this piston right here, and we're going to see how freely this thing moves, okay? Look at that. I don't even have to try, guys. Look at that. It's moving. Moving very freely. When I first took this out, I tried to push on it, and it was really cruddy and stuck like you wouldn't believe. So let's go ahead and put this back. How you put this back is fairly simple. You're gonna set this on top. See this, the vanes right here? The vanes is gonna sit down just like this. What you're gonna notice is you're gonna have two tubes right here. This plug connector is gonna be between the two tubes, so you can't make a mistake. You can't face it this way. It's got to go this way. The plug is gonna be facing between these two tubes. So before we put this in, we're going to have to put the spring back in here. So what we're going to do is take this carefully, using gravity and balance. We're going to put the spring right in here, right? We're going to take this and we're going to sit it on top of it without letting that spring move out of place. Carefully setting the spring down centered. It's got to be centered right in there. Centered perfectly. Press down the spring. If it's off just by a little, this piston is not going to work, guys. Okay, go ahead and put your screws in. Screw it in by hand. Same thing with the other side. I wasn't able to find a torque value on this screw, so I'm just going to go ahead and tie it in until it's tight. That's about it. Don't go crazy with your screw gun here. There you go. Once it goes in pretty tight, I would take a screwdriver, put it right in, and try to turn it another quarter turn, okay? So this is it right here, guys. Fairly clean. Piston works great. And I think I did a pretty good job. Would I have done this differently the first time around? Would I have taken this out and cleaned it and put it back on the car and saved myself $250? I probably would have. I just didn't know that this was actually cleanable and would actually work. For you guys that have like 200,000 miles on your car and never change your EGR valve, I don't know about that, but for this, this was a very easy clean for me. Okay, I think I could put this back on and save $250. Cool.